Big Scott Carroll, 92.5 The Bear. Good morning, everybody. We've been promising it for the last few days, and
yes,
we are. Carol's over there with.
I'm kind of excited.
Have you got your soppable rag?
I've got my soppable rag. I'm ready.
All right, folks. We are now joined on the phone by one of our absolute favorites here on 92.5 The Bear, the one and only Joe Nichols. Joe, good morning.
Morning, Joe.
Good morning. How are y'all?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Good.
First of all, you're going to be at the Georgia National Fair coming up in a few weeks. We're going to be down there with you, so we're looking forward to that. But you're also getting ready to launch your Australian tour for the third time.
Yeah, we're getting ready to head down there for the big old 15, 16-hour trip, plane ride down to Sydney, and
wow,
got a little tour down there, and then heading out to Georgia as soon as we get back. So got a couple of days to get refreshed and everything in between the flight back and when we come down to Perry. So. We'll be ready to rock.
Now, great. Now, Joe, is this your third or your fourth tour over to Australia?
It's my fourth trip.
Okay.
My third actual tour. I think we've done 2 tours down there, and then I flew down for one, just like a weekend type festival.
Okay.
And so this is our fourth trip, but third tour.
Third full tour. Okay, that's great. Who's going to be with you on the tour?
I got several people down there. Kelly Clarkson and the Living End is one of the shows, and the Living End is an Australian rock group, and a guy named Morgan down there is playing with us on Friday night in Tamworth, and a girl named Jasmine Ray, who we did a duet with last year. She had a #1 song in Australia with that song, and she's going to be with us on Wednesday at Penrith and near Sydney. So we've got a cool little schedule lined up. It's a fun little group.
That sounds great.
Joe, I got to tell you, coming up here in about 10 minutes or so, we do a thing every morning called the Military Minute, and your video for The Shape I'm In, that is literally my favorite country music video of all time for a couple of reasons. Number one, my wife's a Gold Star mother, and it is very special to us, but what you did for the troops with that one, showing those injured, wounded warriors and so forth, making it back and, going through everyday life, not really worrying about what happened to them. For that, I want to say a huge thank you from a family such as mine who has dealt with that. And I got to tell you, all of you, and of course my wife thinks Tequila Makes Your Clothes Fall Off was written about her.
That's my song,
so,
not Teresa's, mine.
But Joe, for the military and what you do, that from me, that's a huge thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say that. We've done some things overseas with the military and actually back home with the military as well. And it's one thing that I think I've always thought that it was the most honorable job to have, and that's a service member job. And I think it's not even enough to pay tribute to the ones who especially have been wounded, and all servicemen and women. But I think it's just a little piece of what we can probably give back and show people what people deal with and actually overcome. That's the biggest point of the video, is that these people don't gripe. These people have pride, and they've done their job well and come back home with a big, huge amount of energy and pride, and I think that's just a great lesson we can all learn, because most of us go through this world with never getting banged up and bruised up, and we gripe like no end. So it's really great to see people with that kind of attitude and that kind of leadership and that kind of strong values, and to push forward and be proud for what they have and thankful. And I think that's what the military is all about.
Well, I appreciate that, and the video with those 3 guys in it, the former Navy SEAL and the Army man, getting ready for a date and everything. I mean, it just shows normal life, and they don't have any regrets. But another thing, I know there's I've seen it documented on GAC and CMT and some other things with backstory and all about some of the struggles you dealt with. So I'm sure that, The Shape I'm In probably had a little personal connotation as well, because you've come through so much and become such a stronger artist and such a stronger man now with the baby and everything. Man, I got to tell you, hats off to you, man. A lot of folks don't come back from stuff that causes them turmoil, but you overcame it.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, there was something that drew me to that song, and it might be like you said. It's just sometimes when you hear a song, it clicks. But I got great people around me. I wish I could take credit for just being this great human being, but I can't. I got a great wife. I got great friends, and I got a great new baby little girl, and God has been really good to me, and I'm thankful to Him for it.
That's awesome. How is that baby girl doing?
She is growing like a weed. She is. She's everywhere. She's awesome. She's got her own little fan club now, I think.
I bet.
She's she's a pretty little thing, and I'm so thankful for that. But here about 30 years, I think I'll be dreading it. But
you probably
right now,
probably about 15 more years. Although you have a teenage daughter as well, so you probably you're already prepared.
Right. Well, I don't think you're ever prepared. You know, my oldest daughter is growing so fast too. She's she's just she's at that point where it's scary.
Yeah.
She's getting into high school now, and she's a pretty little thing, and boy, it's gonna be tough.
Get ready. They'll be knocking down the doors.
It's Big Scott and Carol talking with Joe Nichols this morning. And, Joe, I got to tell you, I got a 15-year-old daughter. I know exactly how that rolls. But I do know this. On Facebook, if you're a Joe Nichols fan of his page, halfway down that page there is a picture of that baby, and she's got a onesie that says tax deduction on it.
Which I love.
And Joe said you got that from your business manager?
I got that from my accountant.
Oh, that's awesome.
There you go.
What a perfect gift.
Joe, I got to tell you, the number ones, which of course we have thoroughly, Broken Heartsville, Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off, Shape I'm In, Give Me That Girl, which I think is one of the best country kick you in the gut dude to woman love songs ever written, even though it's got an upbeat tempo. Give Me That Girl is one that just made everybody proud to see their girlfriend walking around in a long T-shirt on a Saturday morning.
Oh yeah, that's a very flattering song. I love that. I love that the honesty in that song. That guys really love the fact that a woman is with him, and it's not that he can show her off and do things like that, because that's also part of a guy's thing. We like to go out and present, if you will, our wives and girlfriends and say, isn't she beautiful? But the most attractive thing to me, I think the other guys never see. That's how pretty she is. When it's just us, when it's just us alone, and she doesn't care how she looks. She looks the best.
Well, I know I've seen your wife, of course, on TV with you and interviews and things like that, and I feel the same way about mine. And I got to tell you, Joe, you got a right to say that. You got a right to say, "Give me that girl." I've seen it. We've got one of the words that we use here on Big Scott and Carol in the morning. Carol has created a word called "soppable." If you can use your imagination, you can probably figure that one out.
You just sop them up like gravy in a biscuit.
I'm sure Joe thinks his wife's quite soppable.
I'm sure it goes both ways.
Joe, Georgia National Fair coming up.
She's not as funny as me.
She's not as funny as you. I tell you, and I know that you're friends with a lot of artists since you guys kind of run in that circle. If you don't follow Blake Shelton on Twitter,
my goodness
there's
gracious.
something wrong with everybody. Blake Shelton's the greatest Twitter guy on the planet.
His are hysterical.
So,
Twitter made him a star.
There we go. There we go.
I gotta say, because people saw the side of him that nobody really saw, and when he got on Twitter, it was almost like he had an instant okay to be himself, and that's awesome. That's what made him huge.
And one thing about you, especially coming back from the turmoils you've been through, is being yourself has made you, I think, a better artist, a better songwriter, and a better performer. And I say that because if you go back to Broken Heartsville, which had a very George Strait, John Anderson feel to it, and then kind of came into your own with Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off, and the funniness of that video, and then of course the music, man, Give Me That Girl, and then Shape I'm In, and so forth. You've covered a wide breadth of country, from traditional steel guitar twanging up to the, I won't call it pop, but a little more modern sound.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, then if you like what we've done as a whole, in the broad scope of things, then the new music that we're doing, I'm in the studio with Tony Brown and Mickey Jack Combs. The new music that we're doing is special to me, because it's exactly what you said. I think we got some traditional stuff on there that to me is in my wheelhouse. It's something that I just absolutely love doing and always have loved listening to. And we also got some new stuff that is tempo, that is fresh, and it feels young, and it feels good. And that's. No, I was just saying that I'm still a young guy, and I still feel like singing young songs. And so this new album has a lot of the traditional stuff and a lot of the young feeling stuff too.
Well, I got to tell you, we're talking with Joe Nichols this morning on Big Scott and Carol. Joe, I know you got a million things to do. I can't thank you enough for the time spent with us. Have safe travels to Australia.
Yes.
Enjoy some shrimp on the Barbie. See a kangaroo or two, and then get home to the Georgia National Fair down in Perry. We're going to be down there. We can't
wait to see you.
Your manager has arranged for us to get to meet you before the show. So, man, I'm telling you, just looking forward to that.
Yes.
And you keep singing that country music. You keep loving that little girl, and we'll keep playing it for everybody.
All right, brother. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. It's great talking this morning. I'll see y'all there.
We'll see you then.
This is Joe Nichols, The Shape I'm In, right here on 92.5 The Bear.